Welcome to No Fall Zone, the podcast that takes you inside the minds of Freeride World Tour athletes, past and present, who've left their mark on the sport. We lift the curtain and give you a glimpse of what life is really like for some of the world's greatest professional freeriders. This episode's No Fall Zone guest is a skier's skier who does what she does because she loves it. Originally from a village in the Italian Dolomites, she has traveled the world honing her craft, developing a special connection with the mountains and a crew from Innsbruck, Austria along the way. As an FWT rookie in 2016, she won the Fieberbrunn Pro and finished the season in third place. She ended 2017 in third again after memorable victories in Andorra and Alaska. By the end of 2020, she'd amassed a total of 8 event wins, including one extreme Verbier victory, and had won the Freeride World Tour ski women title 3 times. Today, she is still the most successful FWT skier of all time. Arianna Tricomi, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thank you so much, guys. Happy to be here.
Yeah, it's awesome to have you here. Did you realize that you are the most successful skier of all time on the FWT, or is that news to you as well?
That introduction was pretty heavy, to be honest. Thanks for that. But no, I don't think I realized that. So yeah, thanks for telling me.
Well,
Cool.
I knew you were a legend, but as I went through all my stats today, I worked it out. I'm like, oh wow, she's like Arianna and Marion Lerty. It's the girls are the dominators.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the girls. Yeah, no, wow. So many good memories on the tour. Like, yeah, for sure, winning is amazing. But if I look back, I can only smile. Really good times.
Oh, indeed. Well, listen, we'll get into it because we're going to take a little walk down memory lane in a little bit. But what's going on in Arianna Tricomi's life right now? Where are you right now? What have you been up to?
Yeah, so right now I'm in my little house up the mountains where apparently the connection is not really good most of the times, but hopefully works out today. And I live outside of Innsbruck. I've been living here for more than 10 years now, so it's been a while. And yeah, what's going on in my life? I'm getting ready for winter. I think, the time has come to use them legs again. And I've been mostly climbing. So that's one of the, biggest passions that I have right now in my life. The past years have been really nice, like trying to combine skiing and then climbing. And I think it gave me a lot also for skiing. And then I'm waiting for snow, like all the powder freaks out there. Hopefully we get some of it soon.
Indeed. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. My 12-year-old, he started skiing, 2 or 3 years ago, and now snowboards. And he's like, we live about an hour and a half from the Pyrenees. He's like, Dad, has it snowed in the Pyrenees yet? Has it snowed in the Pyrenees yet? When are we going? When are we going snowboarding first? So yeah,
That's a good mindset.
indeed, everybody's feeling it. Everybody's feeling it. So the big news is Ari's back on tour.
Yeah,
Indeed. So have you been like attacked by the press yet? Or are you starting to get all these media requests and
it's all right. I mean, it was kind of cool to see, like, it took me a really long time to decide if I wanted to come back or not. Like, it was not an easy decision when they offered me a wild card. So thanks a lot for that, because I really appreciated the fact that they wanted me back on the tour. And yeah, the whole summer I was trying to think, should I go back or not? And finally, when I said, okay, I'm back, it was so cool to see the reaction of all the people, like, of course, my sponsors, but then a lot of people were so stoked to see me back. And yeah, it gave me a lot of motivation too. And not too much media, but that's okay. Hopefully I ski well enough to have then the media coming up to me.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm just stoked to be back.
No, it's awesome, and we're stoked to have you back as well. And I'm sure the media will be knocking on your door soon enough. And you've done, obviously, three-time world champion. You've done plenty of media, plenty of interviews over the course of your career. What is the one question that you get asked all the time and that you hate to answer?
Oh, yeah, good question. I mean, sometimes people ask why I speak multiple languages. They don't understand that. But yeah, I guess I grew up in a cool place where we grow up with three languages. So it was kind of easy to pick up another one and another one. So yeah, I think sometimes people don't understand why I speak more languages and I can answer all these interviews in like different languages. So yeah, they see me more as a skier, but not so much, I guess, of a person that speaks more languages. So yeah, I don't
Is
hate.
is, is that the
I don't
is
hate
that the
that.
American press?
The Yeah, most the Americans are very impressed for sure. Like, what? You speak two languages? Like, no, more than two. What? Really? No, I'm joking. But yeah, it's cool. I'm super happy, and I love also being on the tour because I can practice all my languages. You know, I can speak French and Spanish and just try to keep them fresh. And I love to just like change languages through the day. And yeah, keeps my brain a little active.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. So you were on tour from 2016 until 2021. And then you took a break and they gave you an event wild card for Fieberbrunn in 2023. And of course you came back and won. And when you got to the bottom at the end of the run, you shouted, "I love you guys. I love the Freeride World Tour." So there's a little bit of, I got the feeling that that you missed tour life.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I'm back. You know, if I was not missing it, I wouldn't have come back. But um, yeah, for sure. Like I would say I quit 2020 because 2021, it was a weird year for everybody. And I remembering like calling Lolo, being almost scared, telling him I was not going to Andorra. And for that year, it ended up being the best decisions I've ever taken because I went back home to the Dolomites and everything was closed because of Corona. And I was so happy to be there because we had one of the best winters ever and everything was quiet. There were no people and I rediscovered my mountains. I rediscovered the place where I grew up and I saw all these couloirs that I never skied and I had the chance to ski them and that like in total peace, you know. So for that year, I was so happy that I took that decision. And I think also the years afterwards, I had one big injury that was pretty hard, like big rehab. But yeah, that was the time for me, I think, to stay home also and rethink my life a little bit because it became super hectic and almost out of control, like from going to university and then like ending on the Freeride World Tour, winning, everything became so fast and crazy. So it was really cool to take a break actually. And then, yeah, 2023, when I got offered a wild card, I was very scared actually, you know, to go back because I didn't know if my knee was actually able to ski a phase like that in those like not super good conditions. And I didn't even care about the result. I was so happy about my run. I enjoyed myself so much. And I realized, wow, I really missed this. And it was not just the run, but just, yeah, getting down, having all these friends and people like with big smiles cheering for you. And I don't know, it's a special kind of energy that I definitely missed over the years. And I'm happy I took some years off to like, for sure, like live the mountains in a different way and maybe like work on my tricks or my mountaineering skills because I feel like I had a nice evolution in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm so hyped to be back exactly because the tour is special and the energy that it creates around not only comp day, just the whole like week around the comp is magical and I haven't like experience it in any other place. So it's cool. I love
Yeah,
it.
I mean, they do say it is the Freeride World Tour family for a reason.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
really is.
yeah, for sure.
So obviously for the tour, it's easy. You know, the you get to travel. There, you're hanging with your friends, with the other skiers, the other snowboarders. Um, but I've, of course, as I research these things, I watch a lot of videos um, and your motivation. I know what the answer is, but I want to hear you tell me what motivates you to not just for the tour, but for skiing.
Bad guys, skiing is the best thing ever, no? Skiing powder. So skiing ice, like today on the glacier, I'm not sure, but powder, wow. Especially after a climbing season where you feel so frustrated a lot of days, like I love climbing, but when I go back skiing, I'm really glad I'm a skier, because it's so easy to have fun. Like, I don't know anything else where you like floating down the mountain, feeling so free. And I love the fact that your body's free. Like some people tell me, oh, biking is similar. And I'm like, oh no, for me, it's not, man. I cannot even cheer on a bike. I cannot even put my arms in the air. If I'm stoked, I'm gonna like crash into a tree. But with
Yeah,
skiing, you can cheer yourself while you're skiing and cheer your friends. And it's just something that is like very special. And I think it brings the people together a lot. The skiing happiness, on a good powder day in the trees.
yeah,
I'm so thankful I was able to grow up with this. And yeah, I have to thank my mom for bringing me out in the powder as a kid. That was
yeah.
a good move.
Your mom was a huge influence in your life, huh?
Yeah, still is. Still my big influence, and the one I call where when I don't know, it's always Mama. She usually
Yeah.
knows what to do.
And is a fantastic skier as well. She's really the one that got you into it.
Yeah, for sure. She was a World Cup skier and skied the Olympics. So yeah, big skier, and I think she loves skiing more than anybody else. So always nice to see her skiing. Happy kid.
Indeed. And you it wasn't just alpine skiing. It was she taught you, I think she had you on telemark skis and doing cross country skiing, and there was really like anything that you could do on skis, you were doing it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was really cool. Mostly telemark skiing, I would say. Like she put me on telemark skiing when I was 6. And like that, we could also skin up. So that was really cool. I remember like doing ski tours as a kid, and I thought it was so cool. And with the dog in the powder, I was like, whoa, this is so nice. And then, of course, I did alpine skiing, but I was always a little too like a bit of a rebel. So like
Yeah.
the trainers didn't like me all the time because I was just leaving the trainings and I was going into the trees with my racing skis and like breaking them up. And
Yeah.
I was still doing pretty good at the comps at the ski racing, so they had a hard time with me. But yeah, my mom, it was cool. She never forced me into nothing. She never told me you have to. She was like, yeah, that's your life. I showed you skiing in all the different ways, do whatever. And actually one day I told her I wanted to be a professional surfer. So she was like,
Awesome.
what? Yeah, awesome. She was like, yeah, that's kind of tough, but yeah, let's have a try. And she sent me to, yeah, surfing camps and stuff like that. And yeah, I learned
In
surfing
Italy or where were the surf camp?
in the Canary Islands. So
Okay.
he was sending me far away from her, probably to have some peace.
Some peace and quiet, exactly. Do
She's
you
like,
remember
oh,
what islands did you go to? Because I've more come from more of a surfing background, so I've spent
and
lots of time in the Canaries.
yeah, Fuerteventura. That's my island. Yeah,
All
I
right.
spent a lot of time there, and yeah, I'm super happy I learned surfing. And yeah, at some point, I quit skiing kinda for surfing. Then I realized, that's not so realistic. So I came back for skiing and did the comps, and then I was doing the comps pretty good, and I was so confused. And at some point I realized, I might not be a professional surfer, but I'm super happy I got the chance to learn it pretty well as a kid.
For sure. Did you compete or at all in surfing?
I did a few comps in Italy, but I don't know. It was a little too early because I was definitely not a good surfer. But this guy saw me surfing uh, in a super random place in Italy. And he came
Uh-huh.
up to me and my mom, and he was like, "Who are you? And we need girls because there's no girls in Italy surfing." And we were like, "Yeah, but man, we're from like South Tyrol in the mountains. No, it doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah." And he kind of put me in the team. And so I was competing in surfing without being able to surf. I actually did the European Surf Championships in Portugal.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I was in the heat against Lee and Karen, and she was
Yeah.
going out like surfing these crazy big waves, and I was just trying to, not die really. And it was crazy experience, but I'm glad I did it. But I definitely didn't succeed in the comps.
Oh, well, no, at least you were there. You gave it your all. Do you remember the name of the coach? It wasn't Alessandro Dini by any chance, was it?
Maybe, I don't know, I don't remember, but pretty cool little surf experience. But I
That's
still love surfing, and I still go like not as much as I used to, but it's so cool. I can just go for 2 weeks and I'm back into it. Like it's really
yeah.
because I have a good level just to be able to have fun for 2 weeks and then go home. And I just had really good 2 weeks this summer in Fuerteventura. Actually, really, really good vibe in the water. I was super happy about that because the last years became a little hectic in the water. I didn't like the vibe so much.
Yeah, especially in the Canaries, it can be a bit difficult sometimes, but
It was a really positive experience this year, actually. And last year on the Spanish, coast of Spain and France, it was a little hectic. So I came back home like not too hyped from surfing, but because of the
yeah.
people in the water, not so much
Yeah.
of the
No, in the
sport.
summer, in the summertime, there's way too many people in the water. I live not far from Hossegor, so I used to have a house
Oh, nice.
a house on the beach in Hossegor, but that was in the early '90s, and there were a lot less people in the lineup. So things
Yeah,
have definitely changed since then. But
yeah.
that brings me okay. So little surfing question. So have you ever gotten barreled, like gotten a really good tube?
Mm, no,
No.
I mean,
Okay. Have you?
no, I wouldn't call it like a proper barrel. I kind of got barreled a little bit, but maybe in Mexico a little bit. A little bit. I was, in the tunnel, but I wouldn't call it. It's not that I was standing in the barrel. No, nothing like that.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe it's
No,
gonna happen.
it was just coming back to the conversation about powder being the best feeling in the world because for
Oh, yes,
me,
please.
riding deep powder or getting barreled, but even sometimes like on a long point break wave, it's this and you're just carving big turns and everything. It's the
Oh, it's
and
amazing.
surrounded by nature and it's the same, it's kind of the same feeling. They're two different feelings, but they're both incredible.
Yeah, just I don't know. You're maybe more of a surfer than me. Like to have those conditions, you kind of need to search nowadays. Like 2 years ago, we went to Mexico, and that was insane. We were like 6 friends from Innsbruck, and we were sleeping in our hammocks on the beach, and we were surfing this point break alone for 5 days. And it was
Yeah.
so long, the wave, that you had to go out of the water and walk back forever. That's like for sure comparable with one of the best powder days ever.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not as good as like I'm an okay surfer, but I'm not as good as skiing. So I
Right.
think that's also the reason why for sure skiing is better, just because I am better at skiing. I
Yeah.
guess if you are like surfing super sick, then maybe it's even better than skiing. I don't know. maybe I'd be born as a surfer my next life. That I'd be down for that beach life, no ski boots, not so many clothes. I can sign for that life right now. Yeah.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I love them both, but yeah, there's something about surfing that, especially I mean, when you grow up doing it, but it's like you growing up in the mountains, so it's your first love is the deep snow, and my first love is the deep barrels. So
Yeah,
it's all
sounds
good.
good. That's fair enough, man. Yeah.
Uh,
Cool. Hmm.
oh, okay, awesome, fantastic. Well, let's get back to talking about skiing. Um, I know skiing, obviously, as we've just discussed, is super special for you. Sven Rauber, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He said what's so special about you, it's mainly her being such a passionate skier that makes her so special. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I guess it's still the same. Like it's been a while since I skied with the boys, the Project Pommes. That was my crew back in the days when I actually got on tour, and I'm still so thankful for all the days I got to spend with the boys because they show me how to be a, I don't know, playful, happy skier, and I will be forever thankful. Unfortunately, yeah, life goes on, and people cannot be students forever, so they all
Hmm.
working now full time. So unfortunately, we don't get to ski so much together anymore. But I think when we go out and ski, nothing has changed. Like they are as passionate as never, maybe even more because they don't have so much time for skiing. And for me, I think even though I've been skiing so much, and yeah, it became my job, which can for sure like even ruin the passion, still love it so much. Yeah,
That's
best
awesome.
feeling.
So how did you guys all hook up? Did you know them before because you studied in Innsbruck? You went to university in Innsbruck, was that right?
Yeah, exactly.
And you
Well,
just met them at university, or how did the whole crew kind of come about?
well, I remember seeing them skiing on the glacier actually, and they were definitely like standing out for the way they were skiing. They were doing these cool batters and just playful and creative skiing. It was not like maybe the biggest tricks they were doing, but just like really stylish skiing. And I was like, I want to ski like these guys, who are
Mm,
these guys? And then I was just trying to figure out who they were, and then I was like, okay, I met them and we ended up, they already knew about me too because they knew there was a girl on the qualifiers doing 360s, and they were all stoked because I was the first, girl like doing 360s on the qualifiers. Because to be honest, back in the days, I didn't know how to ski lines, but I was just doing 360s from something. I was super lost, and then I saw my rock. Oh yeah, that's a 360 rock. Tuck 360 stomp. And then I was lost again. So that was my tactic kind of to do well at the comps, but I was crazy lost. And they knew about this girl that was doing 360s, so they were super stoked. And at the end, we met, and yeah, they kind of accepted me in their crew. Very like close crew. They were not really accepting many people, so I was very like proud. I was like, wow, cool. And yeah, we spent so many seasons shredding, and yeah, I've been missing them, to be honest. Like the transition when they were like skiing less and I was, skiing more, it was hard like to find another crew or other people where I was feeling as good and safe.
mm. Yeah.
It was, good years.
And are they the ones that got you? No, well, I guess you're already doing the freeride world. You were already doing the freeride qualifiers, but did they help you with your free riding,
Yeah, for
or was it
sure.
just, yeah, okay.
No, they did. Yeah. I mean, in their own way, they were not like taking extra care because I was a girl, but I really loved that. They were just treating me like another dude. And like if I was complaining for something, they were not nice to me. They were like, shut up, like, so they made me also like, be tough in a way, when I had to go to the toilet, it was like, yeah, here, like do it fast, we have to go. And I was like, okay, okay, okay. So it was cool because I was just one of them, but it was not, she's the girl, let's
Right.
take kind of extra care, because sometimes you have that kind of scenario.
Yeah.
And it was cool. To be honest, also they helped me because let's say there was a cliff and they were doing a 360 of it and it was pretty big. And
Yeah.
I was thinking, okay, so they're doing a 360, so I have to jump it straight at least. It was like this pushing me without pushing me. And
Right.
it was really cool. Like they helped me to, yeah, to stomp bigger 360s, It was really cool. Like if I didn't have them, I don't know. I don't think I had such a good progression. So super thankful for the boys. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, we interviewed Zuzana Vitek like for a couple episodes ago, and she she grew up riding with a crew of boys as well in Poland, but I guess the experience for her was a little different because she said it got to the point with them where sometimes she'd drop stuff and all the boys would be like, "Oh wow, if Zuzka did it, then I guess I have to do it too." But for you, it doesn't. Was there ever one of those ones where you hit the jump first and the boys were like, well, there you go, Ari did it, so I guess we got to do it too?
I hope. I don't know. Hopefully, I inspire some boys out there. I don't know. I mean, to be honest, Innsbruck is a free ski mecca. So
Yeah.
the people that are here are strong. Like people send it here big time. Like even too much sometimes. That I'm like, guys, it's not the day for sending, but people go out and send it. So.
Anyways, yeah.
Mm, it's nice to see there are more girls now around here too, because I feel like there were not so many, but now there's for sure a lot of girls sending it too. So yeah, it's nice. But to be honest, in a way, I think maybe I inspired the boys more with creative lines and beautiful turns. I don't know if I really like push them to go bigger because they do go big. But
Yeah.
I think sometimes I probably had a different eye on lines. And I
Right.
think because they were a little more on, now maybe the Project Pumice boys, they were a little more on mini golf, playful terrain and tricks. When
Yeah.
it became, when it was like bigger mountains, bigger lines, maybe I hope I inspired them with my approach. But I think it was really cool because I think we were all inspired by each other, and we were all helping out each other without wanting it or not. And yeah,
Yeah.
super nice. There's definitely a lot of good skiers around here, and it's nice to be on the mountain, but sometimes also a little hectic for sure.
No, no doubt. And
Mhm.
Innsbruckland is a special place.
It is, yeah.
Anyway.
It's cool spot. It's a cool spot.
No, it is. It is awesome. So, talking about lines, was your best line or best run ever in competition or not? Like if you have to pick one line where you're like, oh, I totally want to ski that again because that was so awesome, which one would it be?
Well, I mean, the comp lines are, of course, depending on condition, but
Yeah.
I was just talking today on the glacier with Mathilde Gremont. She's a slopestyle skier. She's the best right now, and we were talking about comps, and because she was like, "Oh, you're back on tour," and we were both saying there is something happening in yourself that only happens on a comp day, like even today it was very icy, the park, and she was like, oh, it's so hard to motivate yourself, like to jump on this kind of icy landings and stuff. But when it's comp day, you have this fire inside that you don't know what happens, but you just go for it. You're so hyped. And actually, even me, sometimes when I look back at some runs that I skied in flat light or with bad conditions, I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why? What happened there? Like, so I think for sure, like, Fieberbrunn 2020 is one of my favorites. Actually, yeah, last comp before everything exploded, the whole world turned into mess. Um, One of my super favorite runs, and I've been dreaming to go back with those conditions to ski it again, and maybe like, yeah, add some tricks on it, because um yeah, it was a really good year. We had good snow, good base,
Yeah.
and I broke kind of my ankle. Like, I torn my syndesmosis 3 weeks before Fieberbrunn, and the doctors told me my season was over. And I told them, I'm sorry, guys. I don't believe you. I will try, maybe not the smartest decision, but as a, yeah, stubborn physio, you're like, I know what I'm doing. Probably not. But yeah, ended up, I was right, and I won. And that run, I remember, because I didn't ski for 3 weeks because of my ankle, because it was so painful. I was so stoked to be at the starting gate. I remember
Yeah.
that day so well, because I was like, okay, Ari, now you trained 3 weeks with the broken ligament, and let's go. I taped my ankle like crazy. I couldn't even move it anymore. I mean, maybe people don't listen to this stuff. Don't do it. It's not good for you, but it worked out. And yeah, that run, I don't know what happened with me. I went pretty big to flat and with the broken ligament, and I was so happy. And that run, I
Yeah, it
dream
was a
about it. I dream
yeah,
about it.
it was an awesome run. So positive pressure as well. It sounds I was going to ask you about pressure, but the way you're talking about everything, you've kind of just answered a few questions that I had, without just on your own. But so pressure for you in the start gate, it's really something that gets you amped up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Usually, yeah, because I mean, I keep it simple. That's my strategy in life. I try, at least, and um, I usually try to pick lines where I'm just looking forward to it. It doesn't
Yeah,
really make sense to me to pick out a line where I'm doubting at the starting gate. That's not the feeling I want to have. I want to be at the starting gate, and when they tell me 30 seconds, I'm like, yes, let's go. And then it's 10 seconds and I'm so stoked.
yeah,
So yeah, it's kind of a positive pressure, I would say. I like that, because you can go over the limit, and then you realize you're not going over the limit. You just realize your limit is further away. But you need
right.
sometimes that extra push to realize that, maybe on a random day, I'm not pushing myself too much, because there is no reason, in a way. But then the
Yeah.
comp day, I don't feel forced. I just want to do it, and it feels good. So if it doesn't feel good, I'm not doing it. But if it feels good, I'm doing it.
So your competition strategy has moved on a little bit from just finding the jump where you can do a 360.
I guess it did. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, some evolution in the strategy. But yeah, those years were fun. I was so lost. I had no idea where I was skiing, but I was stomping 360, so I ended up second all the time. I never won, always second, because of course I just stomped a 360. The rest was so bad. But yeah, I
But you
learned.
were making it from the top to the bottom too, because if you
I
were
was
falling, then
Yeah, it was crazy, man. I didn't even understand at the beginning, because people were like scoping with the binocular, and I was like, what are these people doing? I had no clue. But yeah, now I have a binocular too.
yeah, it's a good thing you do as well. And so, and speaking of wild cards, because wild cards have been kind of a theme in your life, you got a wild card originally on the tour. You didn't qualify through the qualifiers,
Oh,
correct?
wrong, 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 my friend. I did the
Ah, okay.
qualifiers. No
Okay.
wildcard for
Sorry.
me.
Mea culpa. Mea culpa.
I did not. I never got a wild card. I never asked for one, like,
Okay.
until the one 2023. That was my first, actually. No, no, I did the qualifier, like a
Ah, okay.
very normal approach. I was nobody, man, in a way in skiing. Like there was no way the tour would give me a wild card. I didn't even have a sponsor, so you know.
Okay, because in one of the videos that I watched, you were talking about that you did like a switch 180 and
Yeah,
then
on
you
the
fell and they gave you a wild card, but I guess that must have been an event organizer that would gave you a wild card
yeah,
into
yeah.
another
So
event.
I did my because I was skiing slope style, and I decided to quit. And someone from my valley told me, hey, there's this free ride comps. You should try to sign up because, yeah, you could do well. And I looked up and there was only one comp left that I could sign up. There was Gold Deck 1 star somewhere. And I remember I went there alone, had no plan. I was asking myself why they were checking the face with the binocular. I didn't know. And of course, I didn't have a line. I was just like, whatever, just improvise. That was whatever. And so I saw this cliff at the very beginning of the phase, and I think ski women was the first category, and I started like one of the first people, and I just started and did a one. I did switch, and the people were like screaming, whoa, and I tried a switch one from a cliff. Of course, it did not work out. Like, no, impossible. And I lost everything. I lost my skis, my goggles, everything. So I collected all my stuff and I just like skied down the face super fast and jumped out of this heat like mega loose. And I was so pissed with myself, that I crashed the only comp I could actually still ski. And I was all alone, so I went down and started crying. And I was crying like, oh no, my God. And this guy comes up and he's like, who are you? And I'm like, I don't know, man. What's no, because I mean, yeah, it was a bit crazy your run, but that was cool, I was like, really? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I give you a wild card. And I was like, what is a wild card? Yeah, you can go to couple. He told me 2 stars couple. And I was like, oh, cool, really? And he's like, yeah, yeah, that's a wild card. So I give you a spot. And I remember asking my mom to please come with me because I didn't know what was going on. So I asked my mom, can you please come with me to couple? Because I have no idea, what's going on. And I remember I picked my line from the start again, like no
Yeah.
plan. I saw this wing leap kind of thing. And yeah, I ended up second. I was so stoked. I got second, I got some points, and then I went to Romania in
Yeah.
April. They don't have this comp anymore.
No, no, it's been a
And
while.
that is the comp that made me for sure decide that I wanted to compete in this Freeride World qualifier.
Right.
I will never forget that party. Oh my God, that was the best party ever. And I was like, these people party. Wow, it's so cool. And I remember Felix Wiemers was there and he was like raging, of course. And he was like, yeah, I'm coming to the tour. And then I asked, what tour, man? Like, what tour are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, the Freeride World Tour.
So you were doing the qualifiers and you didn't even realize what they
I
were
didn't know.
qualifying for?
No, I didn't know. So
You're awesome.
I was like, what? You can qualify for another tour. And then I realized, oh my God, I can qualify for the Free World Tour. And yeah, 2 years later, I did. I qualified. It's crazy.
Awesome. So this was so 2013 was when you did your first
Yeah.
comps.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Oh
it was
man,
crazy. Romania
that's
trip
so
was insane. I remember I slept in my car. I didn't have money. Slept in my car, had like a little stove to cook food, and yeah, it was crazy trip. I didn't even realize how far Romania was. I didn't have nothing to navigate to Romania. I didn't even bring a map. I was so lost, guys. I don't even know how I managed to I don't know,
to
to
get
be
there
here
and back.
today. I don't know. It was a crazy trip, but that trip really like was the trip that changed my life. I was like, wow, this is what I want to do for sure.
Yeah,
So
that
yeah,
is absolutely awesome. So what is being on tour taught you other than how to pick a line?
yeah, the party, of course. Yeah, I just said, I mean, you have to be a good skier and a good party human, like it's the same, it's same mindset. I mean, I love, for me, the comp was only the excuse to be on tour, like the whole thing around it, especially Japan. I love Japan because we were skiing powder for 2 weeks.
Mm.
And then the one day you're like, yeah, whatever, I'm just skiing the comp. And then I go back skiing pow with my homies all the time and eat ramen. Oh my God, this is the dream life. So I think I love the days around the comp because you shred with different people and you like share stories, and it's just so nice because it's all like special people, of course, that come
Yeah.
from different backgrounds and different places on the world. So I love to talk to other people and find out what they did and why they're here. And, it's crazy intense time, like 2, 3 months on the road, like sharing these intense experiences. I remember the first year after the tour, I was almost depressed because I had this crazy experience my first year on the tour that didn't like even feel real, because I was going to Andorra, Alaska, and then partying and skiing, and it was crazy. I was like living the dream. And then I remember I went back to school, to university, and I was really
Oh, you
sad.
hadn't graduated yet.
No, no, I was still at university when I was on tour, so that was kind of tough
Oh, wow.
to combine.
Yeah.
Um,
How did you manage that?
with some Italian tricks, I guess. You have to be, smart. No, I mean, so I did physiotherapy, and it was a little tough because I had to attend school, so that was the big problem. And to be honest, so a few subjects, the clinic subjects, let's say,
Yeah.
so only the theory. Usually
Right.
we had these doctors showing up, telling us about neurology, blah, 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 and so on. And we had to attend, I was not attending, of course. And we couldn't actually text the doctors to ask, like, we couldn't have direct contact with the doctors. The school had to do that.
Okay.
I was like, okay, Ari, now you have to be smart. So I was looking up the name of the doctor, and I was, of course, finding an email of the doctor. So I was sending an email to the doctor telling him, hey, man, what's up? It's Arianna here. I'm skiing on the tour, so I cannot attend your subject, but I'm learning. I tell you, I'm learning. Can I come to the test? And he was like, I don't care. Of course you can come, If you pass the test, you pass the test. And I
Right.
passed all the tests and never attend. And the school didn't know. So I hope the school won't listen to this podcast.
Well,
And
you
yeah,
have your
because
diploma, right?
I have it. Yeah, but I don't know if I
And
should
it's
say
all
this.
good.
And so, of course, like I played some tricks in a way where I could, but it was nothing bad because I was studying while I was
Yeah.
skiing and I did my tests. And for all the practical stuff, I it took me like 6 months longer than the other people. I didn't care. The school was a little, I don't know. There was some people, some teachers were supporting me, others were
Yeah.
not. It was a little tough. I had my parents came a couple of times to talk to them and be like, please, guys, because I had really good notes, so
Yeah.
I was doing really well, but I was not attending. It was a little tricky, but at the
Yeah.
end, I finished. I'm a physio. I I never worked as a physio because when I finished, I told myself, all right, I'm going to take 1 year off just to be on tour and ski. And I ended up winning the tour. So it was pretty cool. And then I never went back for working as a physio, but I have it there ready for the
You
future.
have time in the future if you need it, if
Yeah.
you feel like it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. I'm happy I finished.
All good. So you mentioned Hakuba as being, was that your favorite event of all time? Because I mean, you're
Yeah.
really lucky because you were you got to go to Alaska twice.
Yeah. I got
The
vacation.
Japanese events have been incredible. I mean, now there's Canada, not to mention, well, France is back on tour. So, but I think, I know that like Travis Rice showed up for this, I think it was the second year in Hakuba.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then, being able to compete in Alaska is pretty much, I don't know if it gets much better than that. So
yeah. I'd love to go back to Alaska. Actually, that would be a dream. Yeah, I got lucky. I
have
had
you,
really good years. Uh,
have you only been to Alaska for the two contests?
yeah, I did actually. Only 2 runs in
Oh,
20
oh,
days. I don't know. Not
wow.
the best quote, but yeah, I tried actually 2020. It was really heartbreaking because 2020 I was going to Alaska in April. I was like, I signed with MSP and everything was signed. My sponsor signed. Everything was set for like 3 weeks. Heli skiing,
Oh,
Alaska. And then, yeah, we know what happened. I was in
yeah,
Verbier.
exactly.
It was a good time in Verbier, I have to say. Like, when everything happened, I I decided to stay in Verbier for a few days. I ended up staying 2.5 months. It was a best decision ever. I slept at Carl Renvall's floor for 2 months. It was good, good times. But yeah, I would have loved to go to Alaska too. But yeah,
Yeah,
since
no
then it
doubt.
never happened, then it became a little harder to, yeah, just get the support because it's very expensive. And I also then asked myself if I wanted to go and film there because it seems like, you have to spend quite a lot of money just to have a few good days. So I think
Yeah.
hopefully one day I will get the chance to go and, have a dream ski trip. But also it's a matter of money. Like sometimes I rather like ski the beautiful Alps, because it's just the amount of skiing is more.
Yeah,
uh,
for sure.
but for sure, I dream about those lines. It was incredible to ski there.
So, yeah, Alaska is absolutely. I mean, the 2 years of the tour went there. I know that everybody was crushed that weren't able to keep that up and to continue going. But I know logistically and financially, it
Yeah, it
was
was crazy.
it was a big call. I mean,
Yeah, it
even that.
was, even for us, I think I really enjoyed it, but it was tough because it was March, and usually March is the best month in the Alps to ski. I
Yeah,
think, because the base is really good, the days are longer, like it's really cool. And it was tough, man. I remember we were just like hanging around, or at least me, I was just hanging around. Maybe other people were running and stuff. I was just too lazy. And I was just like 12 days, like chilling. And then, okay, let's go, And then you're like, oh, let's go, let's go. And then they're like flying you up to the biggest phase of your life. And you're like scoping for half an hour. You're like, oh my God, where should I go? I was like, oh my God, I couldn't even tell how big stuff was, and then half an hour later you're at the start. Like it was crazy. And I remember my legs felt like jelly after 12 days hanging in hands, It was crazy,
yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
So of course I enjoyed the experience. I don't know if I would do it every year because like 2 weeks in Alaska in March is a big commitment in a way. And I tried to go skiing
yeah, for sure.
other days and it didn't work out. Never, never, ever, because the heli was full of down days or whatever. So it was kind of a reality check also to realize, okay, Alaska is not as accessible as we think, or I was thinking, and yeah, super glad that I got the chance
Yeah.
to go with the tour. And the party was obviously incredible, I have to say. Or can you imagine in Haynes? We did karaoke one night. I did some Italian songs and people were going crazy. It was best. I will never forget these things. Like being in Haynes in the middle of nowhere, singing Italian in my heart forever.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
It was good.
Yes, gotta love Alaska. Like, there's some good things about the States, huh? It's not everything, but yeah, there's some special
For
places, and
sure.
I think
For sure.
Haynes is definitely one of them. That's a unique experiences that you won't find anywhere else, and that, as you say, will stay with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
So,
that's awesome.
and yeah, you were just talking about for people who don't know it at all the Freeride World Tour contest. There's you guys have the riders area at the hotel. They've got videos of the big pictures of the face, and so you guys can study the face like every day. And there's videos from the years before at the locations where it's the same mountain every year. But so it wasn't like that in Haynes. They just flew you out there and it was like, okay, you got a half an hour to scope and away you go, or
Well, I mean, I joined the second and third year, so of
yeah,
course we had some footage from the first year, I think. Um, but also back in the days, maybe it wasn't as how should I say? Like now, of course, the past years we had iPads and big screens and stuff.
yeah,
I think back in the days it was still a little more rural. I don't know. I was just like, yeah, we had pictures for sure, but I feel like we didn't have such a big like rider zone to like really like scope and stuff. It was more like I remember I was just going to my friends' rooms that I was like the people I was looking up. Mostly snowboarders, I would say. I was usually going to ask them what they were thinking about my line. I was more like a little sneaky underground checking lines, without telling the others what you were checking. No, I'm joking, but
yeah.
I was definitely a little more different, I guess, different. And I don't know. I I figured actually, obviously, the first two comps on tour ever, I didn't scope so much. I remember. And then in Fieberbrunn, I said, okay, maybe I could scope a little better. I ended up winning. So I was like, oh, maybe I should scope a little better because seems like it's working out. So I figured scoping is pretty important. The first two comps, I didn't really face check. I didn't, I didn't know, I was just whatever, skiing down kind of. And then I was like, yeah, it's kind of nice to know exactly where you are and to know if you miss one feature, what can you do beside that feature? I think that's something I realized. It's nice to have an overview over where you're skiing, but not only the line. And yeah, scoping is for sure a big part of being successful, I think, in comps. I realized.
I think, yes, you realize, because I think that's a common theme. Like any podcast about the Freeride World Tour with Freeride World Tour riders, that's pretty much lesson number one is you need to
Yeah.
learn to scope your line. But absolutely classic. So you've had 9 career wins, the most of any ski woman ever, the most of
Oh,
any skier ever
oh,
on the
there
Freeride
you
World
go.
Tour. So which one stands out as, I mean, they're all special, but for you, is there one that stands out more than the rest?
Let me think. Well, I mean, of course, Alaska was pretty cool to win. My legs hurt so much. Wow. I remember that. Alaska was amazing. Also because we didn't know for such a long time. Usually you go down and you see what happens. But in Alaska, you ski down, you hang out, and then the heli picks you up and brings you up to this spot. And I remember going up, and I don't even remember who exactly, but someone came like, "You won," and I was like, "Me, I won." "Yeah, you won," and I thought it was such a cool way to know. It wasn't the screen, it was the home. You're like, I remember that was a
Right.
nice win because I didn't know until I got up there that I won. So that was cool. And because you don't see the others, it was very personal. It was your
Right.
run in quiet peacefulness. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
you're not sitting on the hot seat with the camera on you the whole
yeah,
time
I
while you're
mean, it's also cool. You feel like the king, the queen in the throne, whatever. But I really enjoyed Alaska because you were just skiing. No people, nothing. And you would just get down to this massive glacier, I was like,
yeah.
where am I? What is this? And
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
love the footage because you show up and you just come to a stop and there's like 3 or 4 other riders just chilling there, like, hey, yeah, that was great, that was awesome, and then you're just kind of, like, just it's almost like a filming, like a day filming. You like get to the bottom of your run and
yeah,
just wait
the
for the heli
vibe
to
was
pick you
very
up.
special.
Yeah.
And I mean, every win was special in a way. I remember when I stomped the first ever 360. It was very special because I did that, of course. It was cool to stomp the 360, but it was also like a very emotional win because
Mm.
this local mountain guy died just a few days
Oh, that's
before.
right. Yeah.
And it was, I don't know, I think for me, I remember it was very emotional because I don't know, maybe also like gave me the power to believe to the 360 and whatever. But I remember I
Mm.
was so happy and I also cried because he died in that phase. I remember there was a very emotional win because of that. And so it was kind of hard, to celebrate. It was
Yeah.
like, that's something I remember like strongly as a win. And then yeah, cliche, but yeah, the extreme Verbier. I remember when I won that, of course, it was amazing. It was
Yeah.
a very good snowy year, very bad visibility, and I'm glad I stayed on my feet. And yeah, I won. I was like, oh wow, now apparently I'm a big mountain skier. I don't know. I don't know how that happened, but I won the extreme Verbier. I don't know how. Anyway, yeah, that was a cool win.
That one was. I just want to just a quick footnote on the Val Nord Arcalis in Andorra on that win. Lorraine Huber at the time said it
Right.
was the best ski women freeride world tour run ever
Yeah,
up
that's
to that
right.
point. I don't
I
know if she'd still
remember.
say that today, but that was yeah, it was really cool because she's
Right, she's
awesome. So
amazing. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
was
I
really
visited
it was
her
great to hear
just
her say that.
last year in California. It was really cool to see her with the baby and yeah, spend some time together. Yeah, yeah, it was good times. I can only smile when I look back at all these great people, places, moments. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, for you and for people listening or listening to this or watching it on YouTube, if you go to the Freeride World Tour, well, go to YouTube and click "Greatest Lines of All Time Freeride World Tour Arianna Tricomi," and there's a great edit
Yeah,
with
and
I think all of maybe 5. I don't think there's every single win in there, but there's all your big ones, and there's the ones that we've been talking about: the win in Fieberbrunn in 2016, the win in Haynes, the 360 over the Winlip in Val Nord Arcalis, Verbier 2018, Hakuba, and then the
Fieberbrunn.
2020 Fieberbrunn
Yeah,
run
nice.
as well. And I think no, the 23 is not in there, but anyways, but can we go back to 2020 because
Yeah.
it was a bit bittersweet. You won Fieberbrunn, took over the lead of the tour. I think you were, because you were what, fifth? I'm going to tell you in 2 seconds. You were in second place after Ordino
Yeah.
Arcalisa, and then you win Fieberbrunn, you get the golden bib, you guys go to Verbier, and then COVID hits and the whole thing's canceled. So in your head, what I mean, it's not the first time that Verbier has been canceled. It doesn't happen often, but what does it feel like when you're like waiting there? You're like, I've got to do this one last run to win. I've got the golden bib already. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, no, it's over. Here you go. You're world champ.
But I have to say that year especially was very sad because the back has never looked like that. Never. It was so filled. It looked so good. So I was really looking forward to skiing it, no matter, the result. I was just like looking forward to a filled back because it's not every year like that. So it was like double heartbreaking, to um, not be able to ski it. And I don't think I'm the person that likes to win easily or in an easy way. So I would
Right.
have loved to battle it out with Hedwig, because we had this battle I think we kind of passed the golden beep, between the two of us, and so I think it would have been so cool to finish on the back.
Mm.
But sometimes life takes turn and decides to make me win. I mean, I was stoked. I remember
Yeah.
I because it was crazy because I broke my foot, like I torn this ligament, and they wanted to have surgery on me, So I've been on a roller coaster that winter because it was kind of a crazy winter because some things that happened in my life, and so I was pretty loose. I was pretty loose that winter. I was sanding too much. Too much. It was cool, but I was hurting myself all the time because I was just sanding it. I was partying, like it was a loose winter. It was crazy. I was not in the best place, to be honest. And
Right. Okay.
when I got this injury, wow, I was like, okay, Ari, so yeah, you definitely send it too much. And so those 3 weeks were crazy intense because I was battling so hard to come back and win this title. I wanted to win it. And I remember the first 2 weeks, I couldn't even put my ski boots on. It was too painful. And then after 2 weeks, I got into the ski boot with the help of two people, like opening up the ski boot. It was not cool.
Oh,
So
wow.
actually, yeah, I went to Andorra to test my ankle and I
Mm-hmm.
got sixth or something. I don't know. I did
Yeah.
a mellow run, but it was a test run for me, because I was like, okay, the guy wanted to, yeah, do surgery on my foot. So let's go and see what happens. And I was like, all right, okay, cool. It's working. It's not perfect, but it's working. And I had one more week to rehab for Fieberbrunn.
Yeah.
And yeah, when I won Fieberbrunn, it was crazy. Like so much tension and so much, yeah, I don't know, so many emotions that came out, because I skied in pain. It was crazy. So, of course, I won in a weird way because we didn't finish in Verbier. But for me, it was
Mm.
the biggest win ever because I came back from this big injury and I
Yeah.
still managed to ski. So personally,
Yeah.
it was a big win. But yeah,
Yeah. And I think, fate was with you. And then,
yeah,
as you said earlier, so you stayed in Verbier. You hung out with Carl Renval, which I think is really cool because two
yeah,
of the most stylish
it was good,
skiers
nice. And then you
ever
said, yeah,
hanging out
it was good
and
time.
just shredding. And then you climbed and you rode the Beck.
I did twice. From
Twice.
Verbier. Yeah, twice. I did it twice, man. Fuck, sorry. From Verbier. Oh my God, it was very far. With the 120, I had my 120, like fattest ski ever, and it's like 1,700 meters vertical. And oh my God, I remember I set the boot back. It was so gnarly. It was so
Oh wow,
gnarly.
okay.
Maybe also,
Because
maybe.
everything was shut down, so you guys hiked from the village
Yeah,
all the way to the
we
top of
hiked
the back.
from the village. Yeah, man.
Oh wow.
We with the 120 ski. So the fattest ski you can imagine. We hiked from the valley twice, and yeah, I set the boot back, and I don't know, maybe a little sketchy too, because I mean it was kind of deep. I mean, I it's not. It sounds like I'm not thinking. I was thinking, but it was a weird situation because they were kind of telling you, oh, please don't do stupid stuff, stay at
Yeah.
home, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, we hiked the back twice and we skied it twice. It was amazing. I loved it with no people. Oh my God, it was the best with, yeah, such good crew. And I loved the time in Verbier. Actually, special because I only went to Verbier always for the extreme, and it's always so busy and so hectic,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you don't even get to feel the place so much. And spending like 2.5 months there with that kind of vibe, I fell in love with Verbier. Like,
Yeah.
it's for me now a special place, but because I had the chance to live it in that kind of situation
Mm.
with the local people, and I had some crazy, crazy times. I crashed with the bike. This story, I don't know if I should say, but I skied the back and then I went down to the bike this time. Once we biked, and there were some local people at the mountain hut, like, hey, who are you? Like, yeah, I'm Ari from Italy. Oh, you want to have in Verbier, you want to have a glass of wine? I'm like, yeah, of course, let's have a glass of wine. Of course, it was not one glass of wine. And I just
Yeah.
leave with the bike. And of course, I crash big time. So yeah, my time in Verbier was very dangerous actually. I'm glad I survived. But yeah, I got so connected with that valley and the people there. It was incredible. I went back this summer for climbing. I went back
Oh,
and
did you?
I did, yeah. I spent some time in La Tumas, it's just behind, with a
Yep.
friend, and I went climbing there, and yeah, it was amazing. I love it. I always go back to Verbier. Yeah.
It's a fantastic place, huh?
I
I
love it.
actually just a little plug for the rest of the Freeride World Tour organization. I just did the 26-minute TV show about the 2024 Verbier e-bike festival,
Oh, nice, yeah.
and yeah, and it totally. I mean, I've known Verbier. I've been to Verbier. I don't even know 20 times in the winter, but I've never been in summer, and I know that it's the Swiss Alps are fantastic in the summer, but it was just one of those things. I was writing the script to do the voiceover for this TV show, and I'm just watching all these images, and
So pretty.
Verbier in summer is absolutely fantastic as well. So
Yeah, good spot.
one of the magical places in the world, huh? We're so lucky.
We are lucky. I love the Alps in general. For me, it's the best mountains in the world. Like, after traveling so much, I realized that's my mountains. I love it. Yeah.
No doubt. So afterwards, speaking of the your mountains and loving them, because once again, while I was researching, I watched a video I think you did with Red Bull that was taking the touring around Corvora. Is that how you
Corvara?
say the name? Yeah,
Corvara?
Corvora.
Yeah.
Corvara,
Yeah.
and Alta Badia, and you were basically taking the crew around, and it was during COVID as well.
Yeah.
So you had one of your buddies who was a cat driver,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and you just went and skied and shredded all the local mountains around your home. Was that after you got back from Verbier, or was that the?
Yeah, that's the winter afterwards, actually. So that's the winter where I told you I called Lolo, I called the Freeride World Tour, and I was like, I'm sorry, guys, but I will not come to Andorra. because, for many reasons, but one was because we were having the best winter ever. So if you remember, 2021 was a crazy winter because Italy, France, um, mostly Spain, like almost every spot in the Alps didn't open their ski lifts.
Yeah.
Only Austria, of course. That's where I live because people love to ski in Austria. They were like, no, sorry, guys, we don't walk in Austria, we ski. And I was like, yeah, that's my place.
It was like trying to keep the Australians from surfing during COVID. Wasn't going to happen.
It's not happening. That's the same in Austria. So to be honest, 2021 was a crazy good winter because Austria was obviously empty, but the lifts were open. Not all of them, but most of the lifts were open, only us. And then I was going to the Dolomites and we were having the best winter that I remember. No tourists. Oh my God, that's the best. No tourists. Sorry, tourists. I love you because, of course, we need you. But I will never forget that winter. I skied lines that I will never be able to ski again because they're above slopes. You're not allowed to ski them.
Right.
Lines that I've been like looking at for years. I was like, let's go. Of course, we had to hike everything. We hiked everything. It was crazy. We hiked so much, but we skied incredible terrain. And then, with my friend, with Alexander, he took out the sled and the snowcat. It was like no rules on the mountains. Nobody was really caring. So, it was, I'm glad. I know it was crazy times, but I'm so happy we got to experience that.
Yeah.
Like quiet, good air, no people in the mountains, it was special.
Yeah.
Like I love it. If
That was the silver lining to COVID. That's exactly it.
I mean, the Dolomites, after COVID, they got like a big boom. Like people are everywhere, everywhere. It's heartbreaking for a local person to see which direction it's taking, because even in summer, I think it's just becoming a little too much, for the environment. It's just too many cars, too many people, too much traffic. There's not so much space there, and it's tough to see it, what's happening. So looking back, having that year with nobody around was very special. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit like the beaches of the southwest of France as well. There's just no room in the lineup anymore in July and August. They're fantastic place to be. And, I don't want to, people want to come and learn how to surf and enjoy the lifestyle. And it's still fantastic. But yeah, it's a little bit overrun. But yeah, I totally agree. The whole COVID moment, it sounds like you lived, you had a fantastic year there. So
I had a good time. Yeah, I was filming with Legs of Steel. So we filmed this great movie, looking back, Long Days. And we had some really long days in the mountains. We were hiking like crazy. And it was very nice, very inspirational to take a break from the tour and live this kind of different approaches to skiing, And I think I could also, like, these past years, it was kind of cool because I could work more on my style, on my turns, on my shifties. I could like build some more kickers and learn some tricks. Like I could just like spend my time in a different way. And I think it's I'm excited to be back competing, seeing if I can take some of the filming back with me, because you're definitely focusing on other stuff in filming, which is like a little more aesthetic also. So I'm looking forward to see if I can bring my filming eye also into a competition mode and see what happens. But definitely stoked to be back competing now. I missed it.
Well, we missed you, and to be honest with you, I really think that it's one of the. It made my day when I heard you were coming back with a wild card.
Thank
I
you.
just wish that I just wish that Hedvig was coming back as well.
Yeah, we could have.
And
Uh,
and we've lost Manon Lowski too, because to have you, Hedvig, Justine Dufour-Lapointe,
yeah, it would be
Manon,
nice to.
and Chelus. I mean, and Billy as well, Blanjean, Sibyl. There's a crew of amazing female skiers out there right now, and free riders. So
Yeah,
would have been great to have all of you on tour at the same time, but at the same time, we're happy that you're going to be back. And so who? I mean, I know that you're coming back because you love it and everything, but from a competition standpoint, who do you think your main rivals will be this year?
wow.
Or you even thought about it?
Myself. It's always myself, the biggest rival. My brain.
Your brain.
My brain is my biggest rival. No, I think all the girls out there have the skills and capacity to win. The level is high. I think every girl has a different, you know, strength. Like some girls ski fast, others go bigger. It's cool because I think there's a good variety in styles and tricks. So I think
Yeah,
it's super open to everybody, and I think that makes it quite exciting.
no doubt. One question that I've had the discussion with quite a few Freeride World Tour competitors: uh, winning the extreme or winning a world title, which means more to you?
No, the world title, 100%. I don't really care about the Bechteros, to be honest. Like, it's a mountain, whatever. It's a pile of rocks. It looks pretty horrible in summer too. So definitely the tour, 100%. Like, nothing against the back, but like winning the tour means you're like overall good skier, versatile. You can adapt to smaller, bigger faces, freestyle orientated, big mountain, whatever. I think winning the back is great, but it's also not the type of skiing that everybody loves, you know? So I think for sure, um, the whole tour for me, yeah, it's way bigger achievement just because it's also, you have to be solid through the whole tour. You cannot
Yeah,
crash 3 times, you know? You have to
yeah,
stay on your feet and you have to balance. What I thought was kind of hard sometimes, especially when you get towards the end of the tour, is to balance the risk taking with staying on your feet, you know? Because sometimes you can risk so much that the chance that you stay on your feet is very slim. But
yeah,
sometimes you have to find that balance of you have to send it to maybe make it on the podium, but you cannot crash. So I thought that balance, sometimes it's very hard to find. And I think that's probably what made me win most of the times, just because I found that balance, you know, because I've seen a couple of world titles fading for people because they didn't send it enough at the end and they ended
yeah.
up fifth. And then you miss the world title. So it's always kind of a crazy mental battle at the end when you're like, okay, I have to find a line where I can ski strong, stay on my feet, end up right on that position to win the title. You know, it's like crazy. And I remember um, it was 2019 when I was, coming to Verbier to win hopefully my second title. And I remember talking to Elizabeth and we were like, okay, let's make a deal. Um, you, Elizabeth, win the extreme. I get second and I win the title. And that happened. And I remember we have this photo on the podium where we like kind of hug each other. And it was so cool because we predicted it, you know, and it happened. And for me, it
Yeah,
was kind of tough to get second because I had to like go for it, but I didn't have to win, you know. And I remember Elizabeth runs was unbeatable. It was so good, so sandy,
yeah,
super big. I was so stoked for her. And I think if you ask Elizabeth, she would tell you, I rather win the Verbier Extreme. I think she could be the one that could be like, oh no, that means more to me because I'm a big mountain skier and I'm from Verbier. So it's a different
Yeah.
approach to that mountain, you know? But yeah, I remember that year was amazing because yeah, it just worked out perfectly for everybody.
Yeah. Indeed. And then she came back and won another extreme and won the world title.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Awesome. Yeah.
so all is good. Well, we're coming up on an hour and a half here, but I still have a couple more questions I wanted to ask you. Um, Progression in skiing, men's and women's, has been pretty through the roof in the last couple of years. You've taken a few years off to work on your style, but from a trick standpoint, especially last season with the some of the, the young guns with Astrid and Manon coming up, but also Hedvig and Justine throwing down with the backflips as well. What do you think it's going to take to? Are we going to see anything new, or is it just going to be the same tricks but bigger? Or are you girls going to start throwing flat spins and getting inverted and
I don't know, hard to say. I mean, I know there's girls that can stomp bigger tricks, but to be honest, to be stomping them in comp, it's not easy. Like, it's like, again, this balance thing. What is worth it? Like, is it worth it to risk the mega trick or not? And also, it's sometimes so hard to know how the takeoff is. So I'm not sure. At least I don't think I will do a cork 7 this year in the tour because I mean, the chance that I stomp it are very small. I definitely worked on my backflips, so I'd be super mega hyped to stomp a backflip on the tour. That's for sure one of my big dreams that I still have there ready to be achieved, hopefully. I never stomped a backflip on the tour, so that would be really cool. I did, actually last year at the Nonda backcountry, my first back flips in comps, and I stomp all of them. I couldn't believe it. I was speechless. I was like, what? I just stomped it? I don't know how, but yeah, it worked out. So we will see. I think, as I said, it's a really nice mix of different styles. So I don't think progression means necessary tricks, like I also want to see good skiing, like I don't want to see 15 tricks and then shit turns. Like I rather
yeah,
see a nice turn. So I think we still have to remember it's called free ride and not freestyle. So,
yeah.
it has to be both. And I hope that we will see a good mix of both good skiing and good tricks.
Well, there's a hard hitting field. There's a serious lineup, so
Yeah.
I know I am definitely looking forward to it. Um, is there a question that you've never been asked but would like to answer?
So I don't know. Do you want to ask me something that you never asked anybody?
No, I don't have one. I've asked tons of different questions. It was I think I asked Maxime Chablot that same one as well, and he gave me about the same reaction as you did. So it's all good. I just thought I'd throw it out there. So
Yeah.
um don't worry about it. Any last words? You want to shout outs to mom, to friends, to sponsors,
I mean,
the tour family? Ari's back.
yeah, I mean, well,
Ari's
I
back,
hope
back
that,
again.
yeah, crazy. Yeah, no, shout out to the tour, of course. Thanks to the guys that invited me back. Very thankful for that. Means a lot to me. And yeah, big thanks to all the people friends, that share good times with me when I'm happy and also not happy, like it's so nice to have the support out there. And I'm super thankful for this life, and I will make the most out of it and hopefully just have a lot of fun no matter what. So yeah, thanks guys for having me back, and yeah, can't wait to see everybody in Spain.
Arianna Tricomi, cheers to that.
Yeah,
Thanks
cheers, guys. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for being with us. This one was absolutely awesome. Yeah, just absolutely awesome. Super stoked to have you back on tour. Thanks for coming
Thank
to
you.
the No Fall Zone and spending an hour and a half rapping with us. I say with us because there's a whole team from the Freeride World Tour behind the scenes.
Fieberbrunn, we back.
There we go.
With the souvenirs. Yeah, nice.
We can't wait. Good times have been had and good times still to come. Arianna Tricomi, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Ciao, Bella.
Ciao, belli.
So I hope that you all enjoyed that conversation with Arianna Tricomi as much as I did. I think that is very possibly the best one that we've done yet so far this season. As always, check in on our Freeride World Tour social media channels, and next Friday we will be coming out with another episode of No Fall Zone, the Freeride podcast, with a special guest who at this point is still unknown. I know who I'm preparing for, but I don't know who exactly will be interviewing of our riders on the list that's getting shorter and shorter, but I guarantee you it will be someone super cool and super exciting. So we'll see you back next time on the No Fall Zone.